Welcome back to Victory Week for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Chris and I are in the same room, same time, same airwaves.
First time ever.
Right into your ear. Maybe not the first time ever. I think we've been together before.
I don't even know who you are.
Episode 8, Rocket League. We play it, I believe.
Was that what it was?
This was a razzle-dazzle episode.
Best episode yet.
Make sure you scroll back for that one. We're not playing Rocket League today. Today we're talking all about the Steelers, the NFL. The Steelers coming off a Week 1 victory over the Atlanta Falcons. And guess what, baby?
Tell me what?
The highlights are back.
Oh, no.
That is right. The highlights are back. The part of the show where we get to go over the highlights of the game from NFL.com. The really crappy 5-minute highlights they put together. And this is our moment to bash the teams we play, bash ourselves, all for good humor, for jokes, and we get to do the highlights for you. So if you missed the game because you're too busy getting your ice checked out for viability like Big Kirko chains, we have got you covered. Week 1, new season, Big Kirko Chang starts the Falcons off right by firing a pass over the middle on the field to Darnell Mooney. Old NFC North rivals coming together on a new team. The NFL really brings people together. Shortly after, Tyler Algier breaks off a solid run to the right side. Falcons are driving early. Hope that doesn't mean they're going to score a lot. Luckily, they're stopped in the red zone and have to settle for 3 off the leg of Young Ho Koo. Don't make a joke, Dom. They've all been made already.
On the Falcons' next possession, it's 2nd and 1, and they decide to let Gimpy make a play rather than giving the ball to either capable back, as Cousins channels his inner Daniel Jones, placing the ball into the chest of Deshaun Elliott. Steelers need to get the ball moving, but after being pinned 3rd and long, Fields throws a 100-mile-an-hour fastball to Pickens as the Steelers narrowly gain the first down, setting the team up for what may be a common theme of the game. Cue the Boz chant. Boz, nailing his 2nd field goal of the day, and this one from 51 yards out.
3rd and 9, late in the second for the Steelers, and Justin Fields fires it deep down the sidelines to who else? George Pickens. There's the strike we've been looking for. There's the spark. There's the flag. The NFL, or No Fun League, has decided to penalize my boy for what? The T-Rex arm push-off? More egregious push-offs happen all the time. And you're going to call that? Do you have money on that stat line? What is wrong with you? Even the announcer said it was all fine, you striped stump. Whatever, I'm fine. Falcons have the ball and Kirk is hit as he's thrown. There's a wobbling duck in the air right for the interception, and Steelers legend Ray McCloud jumps 12 feet in the air to snag the ball for the Falcons. No, Ray, why did it have to be you? Then after what should have been a strip sack by Watt, but the refs love to keep hoeing us, no coup, on the calls that aren't even penalties, old Kirk was able to hobble to the left and find a wide open Kyle Pitts for the touchdown. Kyle Pitts was quiet all game, but with that one catch and 1 touchdown, he now ties his career best. Good job, Kyle. Way to contribute.
With only 9 seconds left before halftime, Fields drops back for what's gotta be a juicy play. And in the words of Sabrina Carpenter, our wide receiver room has slim pickings to choose from. I'm sorry, did I say slim pickings? I meant George Pickens, as he rips off a huge gain, getting us right into field goal range. Cue the Boz chant. Boz, as Chris Boswell nails his 3rd field goal, totally not foreshadowing how the remainder of the game will be. Steelers head into halftime, 10-9. Steelers start the ball in the second half, and while I'm excited to see this offense get going, and sack. Down goes Fields. But on the opposing drive, Falcons go for it on 4th and 1. Yeah, good luck converting here, fellas. This defense is stacked, and they convert. But there's no need to fear, as a Falcons receiver goes into motion, proceeds to hip check the ball, and TJ Watt uses his gear shift quirk, somehow beating everyone to the ball and making a miraculous fumble recovery. What's that I hear? The Boz chant? Boz. 4 field goals for this man as he single-handedly is carrying this team into the lead. Steelers up 12-10.
TJ Watt has another sack taken from him, but Big Cam on Travis Adams said, "We got you, boy," and smashed Cousins harder than an Alabama family reunion. Thank you, big boys, for your service. On the Steelers' next drive, we got the POV drone camera as Fields throws another bomb to Pickens, who dives for the catch, something Ayuk didn't do in his own game. Pickens gets up to run around like a psychopath with the NFL again, hoeing us no coup, saying he was touched down by the defender. What? The only touching down is from Deshaun Watson, and that bum isn't even here. Thank God. That play does set up Boswell for his 5th field goal of the day. Light work for the Wizard, really. He even punted in this game too. Rip Cameron Johnston, you will be missed. Falcons have the ball and need to score, and Kirk feels the pocket collapsing and panics, throwing it right to Dante Jackson for the interception. Both new Steelers acquisitions with huge takeaways today. Dante Jackson with the pick and Deontay Johnson with 19 yards. I love winning trades. Special shout out to Falcons fans who thought this game would be a dog walk before ever confirming if Kirk could even use his right ankle. And evidently, he can't. No leg strength, no arm strength. Bad decision making makes for an easy win for the black and gold. And that will set up Chris Boswell for not his first, second, third, fourth, fifth, but 6th god dang field goal of the day. Give him player of the week right now. It's over. And then to wrap up this game in poetic fashion, it ends on a TJ Watt sack after he dominated all day long. Only needed field goals to win over this team. See y'all in Denver. That's the way the cookie crumbles, Chris.
Wow, what a game that was.
It sure was a game.
I remember.
Technically.
It was.
Technically it was. You know what? Last year, Chris, we spent a lot of time talking about the negatives. And coming off a win, and also we're trying to be more positive this year, let's talk about a lot of the positives. Because we know they all didn't score touchdowns. We know they only won by field goals. But there is actually a lot to like from this game.
Yeah, so first thing we really got to talk about is Cameron Johnston got hurt. What a negative that is.
No, not that.
No. But Dom is completely right. This game had a lot of promise to it. All right. And we're going to kind of break down exactly why we're saying that. First, let's start off with our boy standing behind center, Justin Fields. Now, on the stat sheet, Dom, I'll be honest, it wasn't the prettiest stat line that we saw out there. But the thing is, he played a clean game. No turnovers. I know there's a little bit of that like snap era errors at the very beginning, but that got cleaned up pretty well. He played a very clean game, and granted, the thing is too, he only got first team reps probably a few days before he got the nod to start. So realistically, play calls could have been shortened. They might have changed the entire game plan just to fit his needs and, how he needs to run this offense. So all in all, for the lack of preparation and playing that clean game, I thought Justin Fields did a pretty good job, all things considered.
Absolutely. I mean, he didn't turn the ball over. He did what he was supposed to do. He game managed is what he did.
That he did.
And it got the win there. I also would like to point out some other strong things. We talked about the running game having to be huge. I think Najee had a great game.
He did.
I think the line played very well for having Isaac Seumalo injured and Spencer Anderson getting the start.
Big shout out to Spencer.
Yep, Broderick played pretty decent as well. Zach Frazier had a really great game. Line played really well. And I would say like the biggest thing to hang your hat on, because I know what you're thinking if you're listening. Dom and Chris, the Steelers did not score touchdowns. And I get it. I really do. I do think the game plan was pretty conservative. I do think we haven't seen all of what Arthur Smith has to offer from the game plan yet. However, I would say the biggest difference between this offense and last year's offense and another offense that didn't score points was we only had 2 3-and-outs. It seemed like consistently the Steelers had long drives, even if they didn't amount to points, even if they had to punt it, even if it was only a field goal. It seemed like the drives took forever. They were long. There was a lot of running, short plays to move 40 yards down the field. And even though we didn't punch a touchdown in, that was huge for the defense to be rested and to come back strong every drive.
Last year, Tomlin talked big time when he was trying to cover up for Matt Canada, saying, no, it's not his gameplay. It's the fact that we aren't effectively running this offense. We need to be more effective, more efficient. Our players are not running these plays how Matt Canada called them. Well, like Dom said, only 2 3-and-outs, which, I mean, I don't even want to count the amount of 3-and-outs that we had all of last season or throughout Matt Canada's tenure with us. But very, very promising. I mean, those eventually you're going to see those drives turn into touchdowns, turn into more points. It's early in the season, but, we're just starting to, shake off the rust here a little bit.
And we said that was going to happen. We said that the beginning season, the way that the schedule is with maybe some of these easier teams. I know people are upset that all of our hard teams are at the end. We're making a playoff push. I think you kind of need these teams, not to say that teams are easy. I know I just said that. It's hard to win in the NFL. But these teams that aren't at the Chiefs caliber, aren't at the Ravens caliber, you need to play these teams because we need to get into a rhythm offensively. We have a new quarterback, a new OC, a lot of new linemen, a lot of new receivers. And it's going to take time to get the chemistry, to get that to a well-oiled machine. And it might take till week 8, till week 10, till week 11 when we start our hard run of plays. But as long as it gets to it by then, that's what matters. So I know you guys want to see points and I just want to see stuff. Let's be a little patient. I'm not saying they're perfect. I'm not giving them all excuses in the world. They have obviously have things to work on. I just think that it's good to work on it now and get wins against these teams.
Oh, absolutely. Give her time. All good things come to those who wait.
And with those long drives, like I said, the defense was rejuvenated. They're re-energized after every series, and they showed it. They should have only let up 3 points. Could have been less, could have been less than 10. Should have been 3 points, and they shut them down the second half.
I'll be honest, I'm not going to talk your ear off about the defense. I mean, that was probably one of the only redeeming qualities that we had of last year. Very much the bend, not break mentality that we've had. But yeah, we really shut down Atlanta's offense. A couple of sacks taken away from TJ, but it's good to see that he is as good as ever, if not better. Good to see that our new guys like Dante Jackson and Deshaun Elliott are making big interceptions and big plays out there. So it's good to see those guys out there. So hopefully this defense can continue carrying on, playing at the caliber that they are. I know a lot of people are already pegging them as the top defense, and by a lot of people, I mean Steeler fans. Let's slow down a little bit. Let's see how the season progresses and when we start playing a lot of better teams and offenses. But again, very well played game by the Steelers, containing on both the run game and the passing game, and overall is a nice, fun game to watch.
Yeah, defense looked incredible. TJ Watt looked incredible, like Chris said. The refs taking away some sacks off his plate. George Pickens not having a good. I mean, even some of those plays on offense that they should have been penalties, which they said later this week should not have been penalties. NFL refs called them out. Could have made the Falcons have only 3 points. Could have pushed us towards that 20-point range. Could have had Pickens over 100 yards. I mean, they're right there. They're really close.
They really are.
But they got the win. That's what matters most. We got to clean things up, move on to next week. And this upcoming week, the Steelers are playing the Denver Broncos.
Ooh.
Sean Payton, Bo Nix, will Russell Wilson get his revenge game? But before we get into that, it's time for yours and my favorite segment of the podcast, which is
Keys to the Game.
That's right, Keys to the Game.
Feels weird to be here and to be doing that, but you know what? I'm happy.
Well, I like when you're here because I can hear the echo and the boom.
Keys.
Whoa, no. Whoa.
To the game.
Whoa. Not too much, man.
So, as Dom stated, we are going up against the Denver Broncos and a rookie quarterback who, Tomlin has a pretty good track record against rookie quarterbacks. Maybe not so much as of late.
Yeah.
But when you have guys like CJ Stroud coming into the league, what do you really expect? All right, that dude's a monster. But let's jump right into it, all right? So first off, Bo Nix, looking at last week, he did not play a good game at all. I don't care who you are, what kind of delusional mindset you might have, but he played like complete garbage.
Damn.
I'm just spitting the facts right now.
Damn.
And if there's one thing that scares a little itty-bitty rookie quarterback more than anybody or anything, that's pressure from the defense. And if I know one thing about the Steeler defense, we really like to blitz that quarterback. And if I know another thing about the Steeler defense,
Whoa, two things.
we have the best, the number one defensive player in the NFL, T.J. Watt.
No way. What a hot take.
I know. he had 2 sacks taken away from him. A phenomenal game. PFF's number one ranked edge rusher last week. Finally beat out Myles Garrett, so I don't know what's happening. But this is his year again, as it is every other year.
However, Myles Garrett did have better almost plays, Yeah. Like he always does.
Yeah. But he's an almost good football player. So,
nice.
Thank you.
You got there.
But anyway, pressure early, pressure on. We got to get to Bo Nix. We got to make him think about the decisions he's making, not give him a lot of time out there, force him to throw the ball to our team, not his.
Make him not think about the decisions he's making.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. You know what I meant.
Yeah.
Key number 2 to this game. Again, I think honestly, this is the game to get kind of Fields going and a little bit more comfortable. We did not see any middle of the field last week. Okay, and granted, I'm going to attribute that to the lack of preparation and everything, but he's getting a lot more game reps.
I'd also like to attribute that to, not only to cut you off.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion, I like to attribute that to the Falcons having 2 All-Pro safeties in the middle of the field, in Jesse Bates III and Justin Simmons, and the least amount of times the ball could go towards them, the better it was going to be for the Steelers.
Absolutely. So I think this is going to be a big game for the middle of the field. Key, Pat Fryermuth, maybe throwing a little Darnell Washington into that mix.
Whoa.
But we got to get our slot guys involved. I mean, last week I think George Pickens had 85 yards and the rest of our receivers had like 11. So we got to get those other guys involved. I have no idea if Roman's going to be playing. I think it'll be big if he can, because I think he can bring a different level of play to this offense, but only time will tell. And then last but not least, the final thing we got to do is obviously win the turnover battle. Even if we're at 0, that's fine, but keeping the ball clean, we don't want to force anything, because quite frankly, Denver should be a team that we win this game. I feel like, judging by both of our rosters, we should win this pretty well. But then again, anything can happen in the NFL, especially if you start losing that turnover battle. You let teams like this back into the game and then upsets happen. So keep the ball clean, a lot of over the middle of the field, and pressure to the quarterback early on. Do you have anything to add, Dom?
Yeah, well, I got a lot of things to add, actually.
Oh, boy.
Let me start by saying this. The Broncos have quickly come onto my shit list,
Mm-hmm. Say it.
without lack of a better term.
Mhm.
And the way that the fans have been clowning the Steelers all offseason for getting Russ, even though their organization is still paying him $38 million, for the way that they single-handedly ruined the Ayuk trade by not giving up Cortland Sutton, and he did super good last week. For me trying to win $100 on betting in football league, you didn't hear that. And Javonte Williams sold, and he needed 48 yards, and Sean Payton didn't want to play him anymore. So the Broncos dead to me. I'm sorry. And I do want to touch on, I agree with the whole pressure thing. You got to pressure Bo Nix a lot. I think Seattle was pressuring well, and I think we have a far better front seven than Seattle does.
I agree.
I don't want to jump ahead of myself. This reminds me of when we talked about Houston last year, and we're like, Houston has no line, and we got to attack CJ Stroud. I mean, I'm not trying to repeat that situation or jinx us, but we have the full capabilities to really just put some fear into Bo Nix's heart.
We really do.
With TJ, with Highsmith, with Cam, with Benton. Benton went up against one of the top guards in the league. He didn't show up on the stat sheet, but it was a good battle.
Yeah.
And the Broncos line is not the Falcons line. I'll tell you that right now.
No.
Speaking of that, I will do that like I always do as I'm looking this up. It's funny you pointed out Justin Fields to get him going and doing middle of the field passes, when technically we also don't know right now, as of Tuesday, if Justin Fields is starting.
Did they announce it?
Nope. I watched that interview and people took it the wrong way.
Oh.
What he said he's preparing. Tomlin said he's preparing for Justin Fields to start in this game because Russell Wilson is not healthy. He doesn't want to play in hypotheticals. He doesn't want to assume Russell Wilson's going to get better. He wants to work with the players that he has currently right now, which makes sense. So he is planning for Justin Fields to start, but if Russell Wilson shows a lot of improvement, I got a feeling that goes back to him. Plus, I mean, the revenge game. Who doesn't want that? So I don't know what that's going to be, but I agree with you. The middle of the field is going to look good. I do think a lot of Steelers fans, because they can get cocky, especially after one win, they're like, George Pickens is not going to end up on the Pat Surtain Island because Pat Surtain locked DK down. I love George Pickens. I think he might end up on that island.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think he might end up on the island. And like you said, you need the other receivers. No matter who's throwing the ball, you need the other receivers. You need the tight end, Freiermuth, like you said, to really come out strong. But above all that, like we said last week with the Falcons front seven, I don't think the Broncos front seven is that good. And I think it's going to be a very similar game plan of run the ball. Just ground pound the old-fashioned old Steelers way because, and it's a perfect way to get still the quarterback chemistry up to where it needs to be. But the Seattle ran all over Denver, and Kenneth Walker went off, and I have a feeling we're going to be doing the same thing, especially if Jalen Warren gets a little healthier. Najee had a great game. Of course, you guys know we love Najee.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention Warren.
True.
But let me go through quickly the Broncos depth chart to let you know what they're kind of working with. You got Bo Nix, obviously Javonte Williams, and a whole bunch of running backs. I mean, all three of them got equal carries. Cortland Sutton as their top receiver, Josh Reynolds, and then Devon Vele, tight end Greg Dulcich, and then left tackle Garrett Bowles, who is questionable. Left guard Ben Powers, who's decent, I think. Center Luke Wattenberg, right guard Quinn Miners, who we like, but we're going to make him play center, so good thing we don't have him. And then right tackle Mike McGlinchey. So actually, it's not as bad of a line as I actually thought. There are actually some decent names there, but I have more faith in our D line about anyone else. The Falcons had I think, have a pretty solid offensive line too, and D line was doing their thing.
Is Munchak still their offensive line coach?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind. Forgive me.
He said, "See you later."
Fair enough.
I'm out of there. On defense, starting defense on their front seven, you got Zach Allen, DJ Jones, John Franklin Myers. I do know John Franklin Myers, but none of those names really scare me right off rip. At linebackers, you got Baron Browning, Alex Singleton, Cody Barton, and Jonathan Cooper. A lot of who's, a lot of what's, a lot of come on. I mean, not trying to be disrespectful. The only name I know is Drew Sanders, who I love, but he's out, it looks like. So then you got Pat Surtain, beast, legend. I'll give you your flowers, man. He's a beast. TJ Locke, don't care. Brandon Jones, really don't care. Riley Moss, he's white. I'm just kidding. And then Jaquan McMillan, I think is pretty good too. A front seven. So the secondary to me is a little bit better.
Yeah.
In that regards, the safeties are not good. So like you said, middle of the field.
Yeah.
But I mean, like Pat Surtain, Riley Moss, and Jaquan McMillan, decent quarterbacks to cover the outsides. But the safeties I don't trust, linebackers I don't care about, front seven's not that good. So I do think it's a big running game again, and hopefully some more middle of the field passing.
I mean, you got to establish it at some time, but I mean, I feel like running's not my biggest concern right now, but yeah, let's definitely establish some sort of middle of the field. So looking at you slot receivers, looking at you tight ends, got to get you established, and I think it's going to be a good game to do so.
I do as well. Now, before we head on to our last segment for where we picked the games again, where we actually did pretty good last week. Tune into that. So I saw one podcast, Chris, where they were bragging that he went 9-6 last week, and your boy went 14-2.
9-6? What the?
Yeah, nothing to brag about there.
No, seriously, what?
I went 14-2, not to brag. So if you want to know some good ball, this is the podcast to listen to. Before we go into that, I got a rant, Chris. Can I rant with you for a second?
For a little bit. But I don't know what that was. For a little bit. for a liberal.
For a liberal, the president debates are on right now.
Watch it.
No, don't watch it.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
No, watch football highlights instead or something. Something more contributing to society.
What's your rant?
My rant is this. The Browns.
Oh, boy.
So is the Browns. The Browns had a horrible game.
Yes, they did.
Which we love.
It was great.
Deshaun Watson sucked.
Love it.
Love that. And then the next day, more gruesome, disgusting information came out about Deshaun Watson with another masseuse in detail about how he assaulted her sexually and aggressively, like battery.
Yep.
Right? Another case has come out. Browns fans have been all over their timeline trying to say, oh, he's a bad guy. What a piece of garbage. Get him off my team. If he's off my team, we can finally watch some good football. Bring in Jameis Winston. Bring Joe Flacco back. Bring Baker Mayfield back. You all wanted this. Browns fans, you wanted this.
Preach.
You guys had Baker Mayfield. You guys were all upset that Baker Mayfield had 4 touchdowns and Deshaun Watson sucked. And you guys are saying, I wish we had Baker back. You had Baker. He gave you your only playoff win in 30 damn years.
That's a lot.
Against your biggest hated rival, our favorite team. And he had one bad season and you toss him to the side. You said he was too immature and you'd rather go for a 28 assault allegation man in Deshaun Watson. And you were proud of that. You were pumped for that. You blindly followed the Browns organization. Well, I'm sure they did their background check. He's got to be a good guy. And he's not a good guy. He's never been a good guy. You knew this about him. This one additional case doesn't make him a brand new bad guy in your eyes. He always has been.
Yep.
But now, because he's not contributing to an MVP level, because he hasn't won games for you, because he's always sucked, now he's a bad guy? Because he's not doing well for your football team. Now he's a bad guy. Get it through your head. Get it through your skull. Stop being so naive. Stop blindly putting faith into an NFL franchise. Oh, I think the Browns franchise will suspend Deshaun Watson and they'll get rid of him so we can finally have something to cheer for the team again. No, they will not. They gave him $230 million guaranteed. He's there to stay. They care about winning. They don't care about morals. They're selfish. They're greedy. Stop blindly putting your faith into the organization, and you deserve all the pain and suffering coming your way for the many weeks and years to come.
Well said, Dom.
Thank you.
Do you feel good?
I feel better.
That's good. way to get off your chest. But retweet. I mean, I don't have much to add. I mean, you've basically said it really well. But yeah,
just
F you, Deshaun Watson and Brown fans and Nick Carnes.
Nice.
Thanks.
Always got to get him in there.
Yeah, always have to.
All right, let's do the NFL game picks and we'll wrap this baby up.
Cool.
Thank you for listening to Northern Steel Podcast. Like always, we're going to go through these game picks and make sure if you can bet on games, follow our picks because we're right. So let's go with Bills at Dolphins.
Dolphins. I don't trust the Bills.
Dolphins as well. I also don't trust the Bills. They played against the Cardinals, who have a garbage defense, and almost lost. Niners at Vikings.
I hope for the Vikings, but definitely the Niners.
I don't go Niners. I know a lot of people are like, Sam Darnold. Holy smokes.
Yeah, well, I mean.
They played a high school football team.
Yeah, so. Whatever.
Seahawks at Patriots.
Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm going to go Seahawks. But if the Patriots win this game too, you're going to see some Patriot picks in the future. One of the only games I got wrong last week.
True.
Giants at Commanders.
Any other team but the Giants, realistically.
Yeah, you're right. Daniel Jones needs to be kicked out of the country.
Yep.
Chargers at Panthers.
Chargers.
Chargers indeed. Saints at Cowboys. Cowboys indeed. A lot of easier games this week. Colts at Packers.
Colts.
Would have been a Packers game if Jordan Love was available. But sorry, Malik. Don't trust you there.
No.
You lost out to Kenny Pickett in the organization's eyes.
Yep.
Got to go to Colts. Even though Anthony Richardson completed like 9 passes.
Yeah, fair enough.
Browns at Jaguars. Don't get me on my soapbox again.
Oh, God, get off of it, dude.
The Browns should win this game, actually. I really do think that logically. But because of my
hatred,
pure hate boner for them, I'm picking the Jaguars.
Fair enough.
Jets at Titans.
Jets.
Sorry, Will Levis. Buccaneers at Lions.
This could be a really, really good game.
Really good.
But I am going to go with the Lions.
Yeah, I also agree that this could be the upset of the week.
They really could. I think so, too.
I think the Buccaneers could win this game. I am going to go Lions, too, because it's early and it's at home.
Fair enough.
But the Buccaneers win. I won't be shocked.
Yep.
Don't bet on this game.
Nope.
Raiders at Ravens.
Ravens, unfortunately.
I agree. I'll take a Raiders win.
Yep.
Actually, I'll take a Raiders loss because the more the Raiders lose, the more the Devontae Adams to Steelers dream comes
He
alive.
looked pretty upset last week.
He did.
He did.
And he's going to keep looking upset.
That's true.
Being the Raiders. Come to Pittsburgh, Devontae. Ravens win. Rams at Cardinals.
The Rams.
The Rams again. Sorry, Cardinals. Marvin Harrison Jr. Am I going to have to eat crow? Because you were telling me I don't think Marvin Harrison Jr. is that good. And I was like, Chris, he's a beast. And I was watching him play in the Ultimate 2 film, Chris. Not too sure.
Well, we'll see. There's a lot of season left, but like I didn't say he's not good. I just felt like he looked slow.
He definitely looks slow in the Ultimate 2 film.
Yeah.
Bengals at Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Pretty easy game. Bengals are kind of a train wreck right now. Steelers at Broncos.
Steelers, F the Broncos.
I agree. So you know we're going to pick them anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Bears at Texans.
Texans.
It could be an exciting game, a good matchup, but in truthful, I think Texans got to whoop them.
Agreed.
Falcons at Eagles.
Eagles.
Gonna go Eagles there. Falcons, sorry, Big Kirko. You guys wanted that win. You're going Eagles, Niners, I think, back to back. You're going to be 0-3. Should start Michael Penix soon. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
I don't know. But that's all our picks for this week. Thank you for listening to the Northern Steel Podcast. You can follow us on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter. If you have been following us on there, I have not finished last year's highlight videos. I'm annoyingly going to post them. They're going to be like, these aren't the highlights from this year. I know. I'm sorry. Just skip them. Bear with me. I just need them up there. But thank you for following us. We'll see you guys next week to talk about this game's outcome and preview the next week's game. Chris, do you have any final words for the people?
Go Steelers.
Go Steelers. Indeed. Goodbye.
Peace.